And three, two, one.
Welcome to the Narcissistic Music Disorder, episode 144.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. I miss you saying like 144.
I know I've tried to stop doing it because I was doing it so much it was starting to sound ridiculous. But 144 is a lot, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of podcasts. That's a lot of. I don't know. I know we haven't monetized this thing yet, but do people realize that? I mean, that's 144 episodes. That's a lot of time, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, we put a lot into this.
a lot of
Anyhow, you
songs, albums,
well, and that's the other thing
and
too
we're not done.
is not heck no, it is not going back either. Like I don't go back to the old shows. I mean, I listen to them sometimes, but like to make a list for a show, I don't go back to old ones. So I'm sure. I wonder how many repeats. I mean, I know that Sexton album's been on here. Someday we'll pay someone to go through every episode and see what the most mentioned is. I mean, we know the Great Affairs. We know. I'm sure Charlie
Butch,
Sexton, Butch Walker. Yeah,
Richie, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, I just sold my Richie Kotzen fly rig just moments before we started this.
The one you had listed online, yeah.
Yeah, I sold it to a guy here in town because I need money. I need money. See, that's why we got to monetize this stupid podcast so I can get rich. I'm sure we'd get rich off it, Scott.
Yeah. Well, shoot. It's
So,
it's an original idea, at least. We're not reading off Wikipedia and things like that.
dude,
So
and there, you know what? There are people out there who like, I think they take there's some sort of thrill in like, ooh, I got them, or there that fact isn't right. But like you said, we're not sitting here checking this. Every fact we share is from memory,
yeah.
just stuff
Oh,
we've
yeah. And I
learned
get
over the
stuff
years.
wrong all the time. I got the Little Village album wrong, the year. I get stuff wrong all the time. But
Yeah, well, I
it's
mean,
funny because I'll go back and I listen to it. Sometimes I'll listen to them
yeah.
and I'll be like standing there at work going, that came out in 1992, you dumbass. But,
Well,
in the moment,
I know it's hard in the moment. I know it's hard for me. I mean, there's things I know for fact that I can't even remember half the time, and it's crazy because I've grown up knowing my something that people with NMD. I wonder if others have had this problem. Every time there's a new documentary that comes out about a band I love, it's not as fun for me because I know all the facts. Like
yeah.
I over the years, do you know how many times I've heard the story of like how how Waylon Jennings wrote "Don't y'all think this outlaw bit is done got out of hand," that sort of stuff. It's like, dude, come on.
Speaking
I
of
know all of that.
Speaking of Waylon Jennings, we got a few things to talk about before we start, but I heard Charlie Crockett on Joe Rogan today.
Uh-huh.
You know Charlie Crockett?
I know the name.
He's a Texas guy. I've been listening to him for at least a decade, probably, and he's awesome. But his last, maybe a couple, two, three records, I think he's had Shooter produce.
Oh yeah.
And he, talks, everybody pretty much does. Like, I mean, wouldn't Waylon be considered him and Willie? I mean, the freaking kings of country music?
You definitely have to
With
if there were
Waylon being the first outlaw, really.
I would say that I would certainly say that
I mean, he kicked the door down with this time, and
well, and it
there was
was
no turning
Waylon.
back after
It
that.
was it was Waylon who was, the guy that said, "Hey man, I'm going to use my own band." And that
Because
was like a
yeah, I
outlaw
mean, that was
thing.
part of his deal because Willie left RCA or whatever they were on,
RCA, I think.
and then they saw him succeed somewhere else, and Waylon's like, if you guys aren't going to let me do this shit, I'm going to leave too. And they were like, whoa, Willie's succeeding over there. We got to keep this guy. So they gave him the keys.
Well, and
And he
right, and that
busted the door down with this time and never looked
well,
back.
and the other thing is too, it's not like there were bands in rock and roll the after the Wrecking Crew and studio musicians when bands started going in and playing their instruments themselves, kind of post Beatles. Um, there were bands doing that, but in country music, there weren't. I mean, even when the
No.
Beatles started recording, the guys in the studio, those guys were still wearing lab jackets. They were still in lab coats, you
Right.
know, and they were
What did they
they
think that was going to help with? I
The
don't
lab
what
coats.
I don't know what the thought process there was.
I don't know either. Maybe to, at the BBC or whatever, or even Abbey Road later on. I wonder if it was just to denote that they were working
Professional.
working crew guy, working studio. I don't know. I don't know. It always strikes me as funny that that happened, but yeah, Waylon definitely came in and changed how country music was, certainly was recorded by country artists,
Yeah.
because I mean there were a handful of, like, I always knew that Buck Owens' right hand guy was Don Rich. I always knew that Elvis had, Scotty Moore, that Johnny Cash had Luther Perkins. There was always that relationship between the singer songwriter and typically the guitar player.
Yeah.
Um, but like Waylon brought the whole band in and then you started to see guys get famous. Instrument like Ralph Mooney, the pedal steel player, starts getting this recognition, and you'd see these other musicians start to Willie did it too with like that Mickey Raphael, the
Yep. The
harmonica
harmonica
guy.
player.
He was on everything. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think I don't know what it would be like to go in and record your songs you wrote with an assembly line sort of situation. Now, I know like the Wrecking Crew, um, and even in Muscle Shoals, the Swampers. I mean, those guys were pretty sympathetic to songs. Like they were guys you wanted to play on your songs.
Yeah.
And I say guys, I mean people, because Carol Kay is in
You're
there. There was a lot,
okay.
but
She turned down the Hall of Fame.
I saw that. I saw that.
Good for
What
her.
what was her reasoning?
I don't know, but I I don't have any love for I have zero interest in visiting that place.
We went. It was a good trip for Quinn and I. We had fun. Um, and there's something I'll always say. There's something about being for me, being in the same room as like a Beatle instrument. I don't know
yeah,
why.
that'd be cool.
Or
But as far as who they bring in there,
oh
they don't
yeah,
know what the fuck they're talking about.
it's certainly rock and roll is it should probably be the Music Hall of Fame, I guess.
Yeah, I
You know,
guess.
I mean that would make
Dolly Parton
everyone
had to put out a rock record just to justify being in there.
right, right. I uh, I don't know. It's always been that way. It's always weird who they pick, and it's always everybody wants to rebel against it, and I get that. I don't know. I mean, what's the Hall of Fame really do for an artist? If anything, it feels like when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame as a musician, like now you're sort of seen as you're done, like you've
Yeah.
done your bit. So I don't know. Anyhow,
Well,
so
since we haven't
oh, go
had
ahead.
one just you and I,
No,
so
it's been a
God, man, we
long time.
had Mark Knight,
I know, which was awesome.
and I got the since he was on and talked about UFO, I went out and got Lights Out on vinyl.
Oh, nice.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
I mean, I
like
knew a
UFO.
few songs from it because they were Lights Out, I think was a
Yeah.
single, and
Yep.
but it's definitely my favorite record with two men changing their clothes on the cover.
Oh my God, is that what's on the cover?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're
Wow.
like in
Cool.
those mechanic jumpsuits
Oh,
and
gotcha.
they're like changing. Yeah, but
Huh.
it's my favorite album with two dudes changing their
Yeah.
clothes on the cover.
That's something. There's something to be said for that for sure. So, since
So
it's
I've
just
seen The
you,
Great Affairs 3 times now,
I
live.
haven't seen them. You're up on me by so many, and I was so bummed, man. I mean, I had that in my phone. I had that plan. My wife had to pick her mother up from the train station, and I was like, I'd love to go, but I can't. I'm going to see the Great Affairs. Well, then I find out it's the wrong night, and I was playing, and so Saturday I had to drive down and get my mother-in-law, which was fine, other than her train was delayed an hour and 48 minutes.
Oh,
So we sat in Holland till like midnight and didn't get home till almost two
like a
o'clock.
train running late.
Yeah, it was not fun. But obviously outside of that, I'm so sorry, Mr. Great Affairs, because I love those guys and I know they were rocking.
What a
Um,
show. They did my favorite song,
I know,
Unfound.
I know you're starting to call the shots for all these guys.
Dedicated it for me. It was cool. The first night at Ludington, he said, "Does anybody know the Narcissistic Music Disorder podcast?" And I mean, even the crickets were quiet. Heather raised her hand, of course, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Real big, real big. Well, I'm glad you got to see them, and I'm really jealous I didn't. Like I
Rizzo
said,
blazed the solo on Unfound. It was awesome. It was
They're great, man. That's a great band. It's a great band. And like I said, I'm regretful that I didn't get to see them, but I was out playing and really having a nice time myself. I wouldn't have traded that for
I
anything.
got the set list with my song on Unfound on it, and Denny signed it for me.
Killer.
Yeah,
Killer. You're a big name in the music business, there's no doubt.
shit.
So what's today's topic then?
Some songs about the Dark Lord,
The devil, man.
the
The,
devil.
the such an
Huge
inspiration.
subject matter in all genres.
The devil, you know what? I mean, without that subject matter, I mean, the devil plays so deep into the mythology of rock and roll.
Yeah,
It's so important, like that to me, and I think to everybody, every kid at least. Get whoops. Um,
you're
sorry, I
good.
don't know what that was. Um, but for every kid who is fascinated with music and wants, it's the great for rebellion.
Yeah,
Rock and roll is so great, and part of that is the devil and the darkness and the unknown and all that kind of shit is just, it's gold for a kid who's wanting to rebel a little bit. And
that
I
Brian
mean,
Vander Ark song, he says it Marilyn Manson, something about Marilyn Manson, but to teenagers, that's an easy sell.
well, and it is. I mean, that imagery is, I know for a fact there were bands in the 80s especially who were literally, sticking that sort of imagery on their records because that's how they sold them.
Yeah,
Because kids were going in. I mean, Iron Maiden's the great example, and they'll come up here in a little bit. But that imagery sold albums without music. Not that the music wasn't good, because that's a great, great heavy metal band. But those scary covers, man, you take that up to the front of the record store, and people knew you were fringe. You weren't there buying, whatever, Men at Work like I was. But so yeah, songs about the devil. Why don't you start us off? What's your first pick with the?
mine are very NMD picks,
Of
very.
course, mine are not. Well, no, mine are songs I listen to regularly. So
But I didn't mention, like running with the devil. So
I didn't either.
it's everybody knows that one. Doing What the Devil Says to Do by Richie Kotzen.
Okay. Ooh.
It's on the record. Oh, it's the one with the white cover. It's You Can't Save Me, I think is the name of the record
Okay.
from like '05 or something like that.
Okay.
My favorite
It,
Richie record. Um, he's angry on that record. I believe I don't know what happened, but I mean, you listen to the song "You Can't Save Me." Um, he is pissed. You can hear his emotion in that
huh.
song.
Well, and he's a great emotional player and singer
But
too, which is not.
"Doing What the Devil Says to Do" is a great song by Richie, and that's just a fantastic record. I think he plays everything on that record. Um, it's it's most one of his more, rockin'. It's not bluesy in any way. I mean,
Oh
that
wow.
blues influence is there, obviously, with Richie always, but it's more of a like it's his metal record, sort of.
Oh cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some great stuff on there, like Doing What the Devil Says to Do and a few other slower ballads that are cool. But yeah, that's a great record from Richie Kotzen.
Well, I'm going to start out with the roots of Satan in popular music. I put and this is a song I learned off when I got the box set, but Hellhound on My Trail by Robert Johnson.
It's on my list. Yeah.
I also put Crossroads in there too.
Yep.
The only reason is, I mean, that's where it starts, I think,
Yeah.
where these deals with the devil start, where the devil kind of comes in, where Satan starts involving himself in popular music, is Robert Johnson. Um, and that imagery, that kind of idea that the devil is involved in the business of music carries on forever. And it actually, there's
I
some
think he would have made him a
artists.
better guitar player.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
well, I mean,
If you're gonna make
there.
that kind of deal, I
Well, what do you do? I mean, let's say you make a deal with the devil. Well, who are you trying to be like? Because there's no one to reference. There's no
yeah,
one to reference back
that's
then.
true.
So,
You can't
you
ask for, you know,
what are you going to be? Right. I want to have the chops of fucking, whoever. I
I want
mean,
Terry Date to produce this. And
right, exactly. And the other thing about that mythology of the devil with is it's always connected to Robert Johnson. And I connect it too. There's always been that vibe with Hank Williams Sr. too. There was always a darkness about those
the
guys,
story, yeah, the
and it
darkness. Yep.
it was always that, and you could always sort of say that that was that role of the devil in popular music. So yeah, my first one was Hellhound on My Trail by Robert Johnson. What do you got next?
I got a ton of them written down. It's just there's a guy I talk about from Texas, Dallas, Texas. His name is Andrew Combs.
Oh yeah.
He has a song called Devil's Got My Woman, which is fantastic. It goes she won't come out, or she just stays in bed and covers her head. Devil's got my woman.
Ooh.
And I got the no, or I got the devil's got my woman. I got the no loving blues. Yeah, it's just Andrew Combs is awesome. And a
And
side note, because Andrew Combs wrote this, and this kind of pisses me off, but I guess I don't get it. But so Billy, Stringy Billy, and Margot Price just
uh,
covered one of his songs called
oh,
Too Stoned to Cry.
okay.
And when they post the videos and stuff, I saw like when it was kind of bigger a month or two ago, they never tagged him in it, and that just bothers me
Oh yeah. Like
because it's
never.
his song and he wrote it about a friend of his that died, and it's just I don't know. It's like someone covering the Jason Isbell song. That I don't know who did that. That one
There's a
douchebag
couple. There's a
Warren
couple.
Morgan Wallen or whatever. Didn't
Yeah,
he
there's
cover one of them?
yes, he did.
That yeah. But that's a song you don't touch, in my opinion.
Yeah, some of
Jason
that.
wrote about it as someone he knew.
Yeah, some
Zach
of that.
Brown did one too. It's like I dress
Yeah,
blues.
yeah, that
You
was
don't
a Zach
touch
Brown.
that stuff.
Yeah, it seems personal, doesn't it?
I mean, would you cover Stairway if someone asked you to?
You like record it? Yeah, probably not. I mean, and release it. I don't think I would. No, I don't think I would.
I mean,
But
that's just there's certain songs that you shouldn't touch.
I agree. I mean,
But if you're going to,
at
just give
least,
the person that wrote the fucking thing credit. Tag them in it. How hard is that?
yeah, yeah,
And I love Margot Price. I'm not a Stringy Billy guy because I don't like Newgrass, but I like what he does. You know, he's exposing kids to country music that they wouldn't hear, but
yeah. He's a
I'm
great.
not, you know, I don't
He,
listen to it, but
he's a great player. He seems like
yeah, hell
a
yes.
nice guy. He was always really friendly. Dutch Henry played with Billy Strings and Don Julian a couple different times. He's always very nice. As a matter of fact, the direct box I use is the one he turned me on to, and I'm always grateful for that. But yeah, the guitar playing bit is, I mean, it's no different than Vi or Joe Satriani or those guys. It's just, it's that high level of ability, I guess of prowess, technical prowess. And the dude has it. I mean, he's a great player. And it is cool that he's turned people on to, different kinds of music. It sort of sucks because a lot of us have been out here loving this kind of music and even playing it before
Yeah.
it. And, that'll always bum me out a little
Well,
bit.
it's just like hearing Charlie Crockett on Rogan. It's like, man, I've been
Yeah.
listening to this guy for a decade. Where have you been?
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on my list. What's my next one? Well, this one does not. A couple of mine don't say, obviously Hellhound on My Trail didn't say devil in the title, but
No, it's
this
about
song,
him though.
this song is 100% about him. Describes the devil, eerily in such an eerie way, that it was frightening. It scared me as a kid. I've told the story a million times. It's the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some scary, scary shit right there. That's true scary. I mean, some of it as I got older, I could realize like it was, hey man, they're doing this because it sells or because it's shocking. Marilyn Manson was doing things because it was shocking, and I get that. When Uncle Ricky played me Black Sabbath, I didn't think they were playing around. I'm like, these dudes are I pictured them as Satanists, like actual functioning Satanists. They weren't, you know. I mean, Geezer Butler was into the occult. He was interested in that. But I pictured them as real, like hooded satanic cats because Black Sabbath was so scary. It was
Yeah.
just the sound, the storm sound, the bell, that's scary at when you're, you know, I'm sure I think I was 8 or 9. Um, but yeah, Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. What do you got next?
Well, the shirt that I'm wearing, the Ghost, has a bunch of them.
Yeah, I know my satanic kids into them now.
He is my favorite. It's probably one of my favorite Ghost songs. Square Hammer is about.
Yep.
Um, there's what else is there? Devil's Church. That's a Ghost tune. But yeah, I love. There's oh God, what is the other one? Let's see. Paul Gilbert. He has a tune that's directly about Satan called "I Am Satan." It's on, oh, I can't remember which record it's on. He sings, so the lyrics are he's dating this girl and he's afraid to tell her that he's actually the devil.
Oh,
And
I
she
like it.
it's kind of like a pop song that the devil wrote to this girl, and it's kind of got a 50s thing to it. Is it what do I see? She's walking back to me. I am Satan.
God.
Vicious king of the underworld. I am Satan. And he's going to take her to Disneyland. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's a
Decent.
great Paul Gilbert, you know how funny
His
he
sense of
is and
humor, yeah, that's why he's so cool.
yeah. So I Am Satan by Paul Gilbert too is that's a funny one.
Well, I'm gonna throw in my next one. Still, you know, the metal genre. I leaned on it pretty heavy here, but this is a classic. This is classic satanic imagery that they are the kings of it without ever really, never ever saying anything overtly satanic per se. But the song "Number of the Beast" by Iron Maiden
Oh.
is is about a nightmare. That I think Bruce Dickinson had, or Steve Harris. I think maybe Steve Harris wrote the words. I can't remember. But the thing about that song is that chorus is 666, the number
Yep.
of the beast,
Of the
right?
mum. Yep.
And like we as kids, like that, those three numbers were really freaky together to see
There's a
them, to say
spoken
them.
intro before that song, right?
It's from the Bible. Yes.
Yeah.
It's from Revelations in the Bible. And it's the,
His number shall be 666. Yeah.
yeah,
The
yep,
number of man or something like
yeah.
that they talk about.
What it is it's woe to you of earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, for he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number.
There it
Its
is.
number is 666. And
Yes.
then the song starts. Yeah, which is great for a kid. I mean, it's great for a kid. It's great to wear the t-shirt. It's great. I was at a theme park, Michigan's Adventure. It was Deer Park back then. I had my maiden shirt on. My buddy Tim had his on, and a lady stopped and scolded us.
Oh gosh.
Like literally told us in no uncertain terms we were going to hell. I wore an Iron Maiden shirt into Hage's Christian bookstore one time, and the lady said, "It looks like you got here just in time."
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and
I
Maiden, Number of the Beast. The album is a great. The cover is the cover is Eddie, their mascot, who is
yep.
working like a marionette. He's working the devil, and then the devil is working like a kid, a normal
Ah.
like a teenager. So it's yeah, like Eddie has power over the devil or whatever. So yeah, good satanic shit there. What do you got next?
The song Old Devil Moon, which is a jazz standard
Huh.
done by so many people. It's just about the full moon and its effects on some people think that demons or werewolves things come alive during the full moons, and some people think that I think that song has more to do with with love than the devil, but yeah, some people call it a devil moon, I guess, back in the day. But Bobby
Well,
Timmons does a great one. Sinatra does one with lyrics, of course. two different people wrote the song. It's one guy wrote the music and one guy wrote the lyrics. I
Oh,
don't
cool.
remember. I don't remember their names, but
Cool.
it's a jazz standard. Tons of people have done it.
I'll have to tell Quinn. My next pick, I guess, is it my last heavy one? Kind of, yeah. So I'm gonna use this is one of my favorite songs off one of my favorite metal albums of all times. It's off Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance, and the song is called The Devil's Child.
Devil's Child.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And again, it's that there's something about that imagery of the devil that is so convenient because it allows you to no pun intended, but it really lets you demonize or paint someone in that light right away. So as soon as you say you're the devil, or I believe you're the devil's child,
Yeah.
you're saying I believe you're evil, or there's something not good about you, or whatever that case is. So Devil's Child by Priest is I mean, it's off Screaming for Vengeance, which is in many of our opinions, heavy Judas Priest fans, one of their finest, if not their finest hour. So yeah, it's a great song.
Nice.
What do you got next?
I have Lil Devil by The Cult
Oh man, that's a great song.
from Electric.
Come on, little devil.
God,
Yeah, I
there's
love.
so many. One I just heard the other day because I don't know what I was listening to, but I had it on some, and it played Todd Snyder's Ballad of the Devil's
Devil's
Backbone
Backbone
Tavern
Tavern. Yeah, that's a cool song
with the
too.
story before it
Oh, killer,
about
killer.
how they're lost on their way to, they're trying to go to Lukenbach and they got lost. So
Someone was just telling me they don't like Todd Snyder. I forget
they
who it
stopped
was.
and asked for directions at this bar called the Devil's
Devil's
Backbone
Backbone.
Tavern. And the lady behind the bar said, Todd said, "Man, we're looking for Lukenbach and we're so lost." And she said, he goes, "I'll never forget this." She said, "Fuck Lukenbach, drink with us."
Nice.
He said, "So we did."
So we did. I forget who it was who was telling me they didn't like Todd Snyder. It really bothered me. I
Wow.
don't remember who it was. Yeah, I love Todd Snyder.
What about, how could you, well, I mean, what could you not like?
I think the whole
The lazy approach?
yes, yes,
Okay.
the slackery, the
Yeah.
aimless.
That's him though. If you've been a
That's
fan forever like we have, that's just him. You
dude.
know it.
That's exactly when we met. That's exactly what he was like. Other
I've
than
never
the
seen him wear shoes.
he had shoes on when I saw him. He had on a jean jacket.
Yep.
I mean, but the thing is, he reeked like reefer, like nobody had ever smelled. Like he just sat in a room with it and smoked and smoked and smoked, smoked. But yeah, that was him. That's who he is. So,
Absolutely.
let's see. That's a great Todd Snyder tune. I'm gonna go to this is great use of the Dark Lord. Um, and it's Steve Earle's version of The Devil's Right Hand,
Oh, yes.
which is a great analogy. The whole song about, firearms, the devil's right hand. Mama says the pistol is the devil's right hand. There's
Dropped a dozen
so,
eggs. Yep.
oh man, there's so many great lines in that song. It's so, I mean, the devil's right hand. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. And that's, I mean, there's some truth to that, man.
Yeah.
And just some great lines in it. And of course, where he shoots the guy, and got into a card game in a company town. I caught a minor cheating and I shot the
Shot the
dog
dog
down.
down.
Yeah. So, yep, that's Steve Earle's The Devil's Right Hand. What do you got next?
I mean, there's so many Devil and Me by Clutch. Um, how about El Diablo by Arcadia?
I don't know it. I don't
You
know.
ever got into Arcadia at all?
No, is
It was
that Stephen Piercy's band?
Simon Le Bon,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. I was
Roger
thinking of
Taylor,
Arcade. I was
and Nick
thinking of Arcade.
Rhodes.
Yes, I remember the name. No, I never got into him.
Okay, the dude, oh God, I think the guy that played bass for some jazz fusion thing, he played bass in it. Mark Egan, is that his name? Maybe.
It
I
sounds
don't,
familiar.
I don't remember who played drums, but yeah, or Roger Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and then Nick Rhodes. Yeah, those three, like during one of the breaks of Duran Duran, did just a one-off record. It's really cool though. El
Arcade.
Diablo is like one of the last tracks.
I wrote it down right now.
There's another band that did a song called El Diablo, called ZZ Top. You heard of them?
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell. When when I was playing in the Carl Benson's Wildcats, we played Wooly Bully. It was one of the songs we
Oh,
played, and I
Sam the
remember,
Sham.
yeah, and the singer would always go. He sang it. This guy named Steinkrantz, a really unique, cool character. He's passed away, but he would sing it, and he would, Wooly Bully, El Diablo. He'd always, I don't know why, but we all, to this day, even my wife, if she hears Wooly Bully, will go, Wooly Bully, El Diablo. So I don't know what that meant, but anyhow. All right. So let's see. Where am I at on my list here? Let's go to, I'm going to do one more good metal one because this one deserves its propers. It super props to this band and this song. Number one, gutsy rock and roll band. Number two, great rock and roll band. Played, sang. I saw them in concert 3 times. It was great, but probably one of the only ones on our list that are going to take the subject matter like this and call it "To Hell with the Devil" by Stryper.
Oh, Striper.
So, I mean, that I heard that on Z Rock, if you remember Z Rock
Yeah,
back in
Z
the day.
Rock.
Um, I had already seen Stryper before this album came out. I saw him on the Soldiers Under Command tour, and I
You saw
liked the
him
song.
live?
I saw him live 3 times.
Wow.
I saw him at DeVos Hall on Soldiers Under Command. It was really good. They were a
Who did
great
they
band.
tour with?
I saw him. I can't tell you who was on that
Was it
Soldiers.
other Christian bands
No, I
or
saw him
no?
with White Lion.
Oh, okay.
I saw him with White Lion. I saw him Stryper. I might have even seen like Stryper, Lita Ford, and Brittany Fox or something. Um, because I saw 3 tours. I saw Soldiers Under Command, this one, To Hell with the Devil, and then the next album was called In God We Trust. And when I heard To Hell with the Devil on Z Rock, I had headphones on, laying in my bed at night. It was, I mean, it was, the drums are super cool and heavy sounding. He sings great. The message is fine. I'm a Christian guy, so it doesn't bother me. Um, Again, I always joke, like, I think I forget where I heard it, the line, Christian rock is bad for both rock and Christ, you know?
You said that.
Yeah, maybe I made that up, but it's not great. I mean, it's not great. And the reason is,
No, Jesus would buy a Led Zeppelin record before a
well, it's
Striper
because
record.
it's so heavy handed. That's the problem. It's like,
Yes.
at least like,
Well, yes,
it
because
always
there's
feels shoved in there for some reason. But I've heard bands shove Satan in there to be dark too. Like, to
yeah.
me, even like some of the super extreme black metal bands, it's like, geez, dude, you are trying way too hard. And then if you have ever seen like a true Satanist, someone like an Anton LaVey or one of these, they're not like that, they're not out, blood dripping from their mouths and holding skulls and all that shit, that it's just no more than Christian people are, well, I shouldn't say that, are out, being crazy in the name, because that happens all the time.
That happens all the time. Yeah.
But rational human beings don't do that,
No.
and that's unnerving too, because when you hear like someone speak about Satanism, and they speak about it in a way that's kind of educational, or talks about why they believe the way they do, um sometimes there's some staggeringly good points in there, you know and it all boils down to, be it Stryper or be it, you know Black Sabbath or whatever it is. I mean, I certainly Stryper were a Christian band. Black Sabbath were not a bunch of Satanists. There aren't
No.
many pure Satanists out there. I
I
mean,
don't neither is Slayer, and they have Hell Awaits and all those
right.
songs.
And
So
that's all of that was really popular in my high school because it was next level. It's
but you ever
one,
see that? You ever see that meme with like Slayer fans with their shirt, and then Tom Araya is wearing like a SpongeBob shirt?
yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's that the perception of what you think that's supposed to be, right? How dark you're supposed to be. But I mean, there's some great documentaries about like the black metal scene in Norway and Finland, and where murders happen, where there was a
Yeah.
murder, and um like, I mean, one of the album covers was this
Didn't one of
guy.
those death metal guys burn down a church or something?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of them also killed
Killed
himself.
another bandmate, right?
No, his bandmate killed himself, and then the guy took a picture of the scene of the shotgun self-inflicted
Oh,
shotgun wound, and like took a piece of skull with him, took the
yes.
picture, and used the picture as an album cover.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
mean, that's
remember.
just
hearing
Too
about. I
much.
didn't see it. I don't want to see that,
Yeah,
but
too much, too much.
that's yeah. But there is bands though that are Christian, but they don't. It's not heavy-handed Christian music.
It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have
Like
to
I
be.
think that there's a pop band I like. Oh God, I can't think of their name right now. They have a song called Dark Horses. Shit, Denny Smith is killing me right now. He knows what I'm talking about. But they're kind of I heard they're Christian. Um, Switchfoot,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard that too.
and you wouldn't know it if you listen to their
Yeah.
records.
And it's okay if you want to. I think it's only fair that you talk about things that matter to you, including your beliefs about anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sometimes it's just the Christian rock thing. And there's a handful of Christian rock bands I like. There's a band called the 77s, a band called the Lost Dogs. I always like Striper. I'm okay with that.
There was
But I
another band like Striper. I can't remember what they were called, but they had some killer guitar players too.
Bloodgood?
I don't think it because they
No.
had I remember they had this thing at our church about music, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and this guy came and he was playing songs and he said, if you can finish the lyrics, I'll give you a Christian rock CD.
Oh
And like
nice.
I was the only one of the only kids who like knew everything that he was playing and then I remember these really rich people at our church said, "We'll give you, at the time it was like $500 if you throw away all of those cassettes." And I go, "I'm just gonna go buy them again."
Yeah, I had that in my life too. And you'd also get a lot of Christian people would say would really criticize me because I wasn't using my gift, especially when I first started playing out in bars, that I wasn't
Oh
using my
yeah,
gift
I
to
got that
glorify
too
the
with
Lord.
bass.
Yeah.
I had
That you
like three different people from churches ask me to play bass and they're like, "You should use your gift for." I'm like, "Oh, don't give me that bullshit."
yeah, you just need a bass player. I don't care about my eternal damnation. All right, what do you got next?
Oh, what else is there? Red Right Hand. How about that? Nick Cave.
Oh,
That's about the devil and not mentioning him. Tom Kiefer, Waiting on the Demons. You know that tune?
no, I don't think I do.
I can't
I might.
remember which one it's from, but that it's from one of his. I can't remember which one it is, but that's a great tune. Our former guest from Of Limbo, they have a tune called California Demon.
Oh,
Um, My Demonic Side by the band The Backyard Babies. That's a great
oh
song.
yeah. I
But
have I have let me think here because I made a list because just to keep things in track. Here's one that I don't that doesn't come up a lot and talks about songs about the devil, but The Devil in Disguise, Christine's tune by the Flying Burrito Brothers. That's one of my
oh
favorite
yeah,
burrito tunes. She's the devil in disguise. That's a killer tune. Got some devil in there. And you know what? I would also say that like a guy like Graham Parsons had that same kind of weird that vibe, that I don't know, that tortured soul thing that always
yes,
sort of made you feel like maybe that the devil was involved in that career in some way. Because that's the other thing is you think about like the death of Robert Johnson or some of these
all the ones that died young. Yeah,
the 27 Club and stuff.
yeah.
You wonder. I mean, you just wonder. You know, is the general belief that those people sold their souls to get that level of fame? I don't know if you what the purpose of selling your soul to get fame would be, because I feel like fame would be sort of vapid without your soul, or with
Yeah.
knowledge that you don't have your soul anymore. I mean,
Well, some of those people, it might be true because some of those Hollywood people doesn't seem like they have much of a soul.
dude, I will tell you, my understanding, again, this is a Christian upbringing and a lot of Bible study, so it could be colored by that too. But I mean, there's an underworld out there. You know what I mean? Especially in entertainment. There's a society of that sort of thing, and that idea of which is what Marilyn Manson kind of talks about a little bit, that freedom. Yeah, because rock and roll, especially, that's freedom music. It's about being free from judgment from other people, from concerns of other people's opinions. And Satanism just builds right into that. That's a great
Yeah.
fit. Um, it's that guilt-free approach. So I had the Devil in Disguise by Flying Bird. You know, another great Devil song that I might take some heat for because I'm not sure everybody likes this song by them, but I sure do, is Devil Inside by NXS.
I was thinking about that song earlier
That's
today because
such a
it wasn't
great
on my
tune.
list. Now, man, that's a great one.
That's a great song. I
That
love
that
I
whole that Kick album is
so
fantastic.
good. So is Listen Like Thieves. I went back and listened to that again
Is that the one before it?
before it. Yeah, that's the
Okay, I've
first
never
in
checked that
excess.
one out.
That's the first one I ever had. And I bought it because of the single, which was Listen Like Thieves.
Oh, okay,
Everybody's down on their knees, listen like
I
thieves. I
probably
mean,
know
really
it,
cool.
but
You do. And I just again, there was something in my life too where if a band had a certain look, I would be like, shit, I think that's rock and roll. Like the singer Michael Hutchins from
yeah,
NXS, that dude looked like he could have been in Bon Jovi. You
yeah.
know, he had the big long hair and all that bit. So I really, I could, you know, they would grab my attention if I saw the video. The video for Devil Inside is really good. Super hot satanic chicks in that. Um, and yeah, I love it. So what else you got?
An
Anything else on your
evening,
list?
an evening with El Diablo by Chevelle. That's a great song.
I
How
think
about the Mike Ness tune, "The Devil and Miss Jones"?
uh, uh, that's a great song.
That a cover or is that his?
I don't know. Is it
I
on
think it's on.
cheating at solitaire? That's his. I think that might be his song.
It is on "Cheating at Solitaire" because
Yeah.
he does the Hank Williams cover on that too, right? On the end of that one,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
he does a Hank Williams tune on the "Under the Influences" too, I believe. Like, is it "Funnel of Love"? No, that's not Hank.
No, I can't think of it. I have to go grab the
He
CD to
does
actually
"Funnel of
know.
Love" on there, but
Yeah,
uh,
that's a that I think that might have been his opening song when he played Woodstock.
was
The
94.
Yeah, that opened his set. That's when he came out with his country band. He had a stand-up bass
Oh,
player, steel player.
it wasn't Social D.
No, it was him solo, his country band.
Okay.
They
They're gonna
played
be
Woodstock.
they're gonna be in Grand Rapids, I think, the day after the 4th.
Who's that? His country
Social
band or
D.
oh so yeah. They just canceled a show for something.
At
I don't
20
know.
Monroe. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Social. I know you have.
I saw them the great show. I saw Social Distortion and the Super Suckers.
Oh, the
It
Super
was good.
Suckers.
It was good. Yeah, and they have Born with a Tail. That's Super Sucker song. Let's see what else here. Oh, I'm gonna put
Good.
this in because I talk about them all the time and I get in trouble for it. Black Rose by Billy Joe Shaver, man.
Oh, yes.
Devil made me do it the first time. The second time I've done it on my own.
Love
That's
that
still
song.
one of the greatest lines, and I still like to hear Shannon McNally sing it
Yep.
and watch her
So we
sing it.
had Lou Musa from the Verve Pipe on, and he talked about that Allman Brothers record, Hitting the
Oh,
Note.
yeah.
I got it. Dude, that record's fantastic.
Oh, nice. See, that's why we do this right
But they
there.
got one called Sailing Across the Devil's Sea,
Oh,
Allman Brothers.
I don't know it. I don't
No,
know it.
it's on I think it might be on the Soul Shine. Is that the name of the record?
Bringing it all back home.
Okay. The one with the bluish cover of the mushrooms or whatever. Yeah.
Is it that not bringing it all back home? I'm sorry. Oh God, it's like
Where it all begins.
where it all
No.
begins. Thank
Is
you.
that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels right.
Okay. I know it's
Yeah.
blue with mushrooms on
Yep.
it.
Yep. That's a cool album. That's kind of was a comeback album for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they hit the charts again with Soul Shine, which is still a great song. Oh my
Warren
God,
Haynes
that's
sang it. Yeah.
I just saw that Paw Paw, that winery, Government Mules coming to that
I
winery.
saw that. That's
Yeah,
killer.
that's pretty
I
big.
saw them last summer at Pine Knob.
I wondered if they might make it up here because it's the same agent. I thought I might get Government Mule in the backyard here, have them play over at Sticks because they use the same agent as Paw Paw. That's
Oh,
why
is
we
that
got,
why they get so many
yeah,
bookings?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought they had
So
something to do with each other. Okay, that's the answer.
So they use the same agent, and then what happens is, I'm sure they pitch them in Paw Paw and go, well, we can get you a show up north too, because I thought maybe the Rocket Mafia would come here, but they're not. They're just doing Paw Paw,
Oh,
and I know my wife wanted to see that, but tickets
Tom
were like,
Kiefer's going to be there too on
nice, great.
Labor Day weekend. I might go just because
He's got the best band.
I know
He
the
sounds so
Higbees.
good.
Are they still
He's
playing with him?
I believe so.
One of
Yeah.
them at least.
Yep. What a great band. Plus, Tom Kiefer's just the man. He's great. He's a great guitar player. He's a great songwriter. He's got such a band. His
And
band
LA
now,
Guns, I think, is opening. So
I saw that too.
I don't know which version, but
Yeah, it'll be Phil and they're great right now. LA Guns is great right now. And there's
it's
only
Phil Lewis
one.
version.
There's only one now.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there was
Good.
two. There was Phil Lewis and then the drummer Stephen Riley had Riley's LA Guns, and of course
Yes,
he's dead
that's what it
now.
was.
He's dead, so Riley's LA Guns is no more, other than they've just remixed a record on Golden Robot. But the Phil Lewis, Tracy Guns, LA Guns right now is
Hell yeah.
badass, man.
Hell
It's
yes.
really good. They're really good. And I'm like I say to everybody, Tracy Guns is sort of like my hair metal era Jimmy Page. He's just the coolest guitar player ever.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got one more on my list here. I'm gonna pop out and I hope you're gonna like it. I think your dad would like the song or would have listened to it back in the day. Devil with a Blue Dress On by Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. Why do I picture your dad being a Mitch Ryder fan?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I asked him the other day, like, what have you been listening to? He's like, Wasp.
Really? Wow. All right, Dad. I know I still got to get him on the show. I still got to have that show. Wow. I know you can't go wrong with that either. I'm sure.
You remember
Wasp.
the song Devil Stomp from Badlands? It was on
Yes,
the
I do.
Voodoo.
Yep. Yep. I sure do. Yep. That was a good. I mean, you could go. The other thing I didn't put on my list were songs that mention the devil backwards. No, I'm just kidding. But that was a big deal. And I've talked about maybe on this show, I don't know, but I've talked to a lot of people about it. When I was a kid, because cable TV was fairly new,
Yeah.
the PTL network, right? Praise the Lord network.
Oh, the 700 Club.
The 700 Club would always do those rock shows where they just would pick apart my record collection with my
Yeah,
mom sitting
that's
there.
what they did at my church.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big thing back then. We don't do that as much with kids now. Music doesn't seem to be as big of a deal to kids and to parents now. Like I did say to Quinn, I mean, it's a joke in our house now because he came out, he had a ghost shirt on, right? Had pop on it, had this table, all this satanic imagery. And I'm like, geez, dude, fuck are you doing here? And he goes, are you criticizing my ghost shirt? And I'm like, well, Quinn, we're going to whatever, right? We're going to grandma's or whatever it was. And he called my best friend, who he calls Uncle Craig. He's, like a brother to me. He calls him up and he goes, my dad just yelled at me for my ghost shirt. And of course, my buddy went off like, are you kidding me? Merchant, you every day you had a shirt with some skull or a pentagram and you're going to be, I'm like, yeah, that's true. But there's something about the teenage boys, especially, who just love that stuff. Just
I
love it.
had,
I love it.
I had, oh man, I'm gonna spill a secret here that my parents aren't supposed to know about, but I had a babysitter when I was, God, I was probably, it was Shout at the Devil. So I was
Nice.
probably 11.
Yeah.
Took me to see Motley Crue at Pine Knob.
Bullshit. Really?
And I had the Shout at the Devil 3/4 sleeve shirt with them on the front, like the cover, and
Yeah.
then a pentagram on the back.
Yeah. Killer, man. Killer. My mom wouldn't let me. I
I
mean,
think it
there
was
was
83 or 84,
there was a handful of things
but
that she wouldn't
my
go for.
babysitter wanted to go to the show, so she took me.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Do you
Yeah.
remember it?
Yeah, oh yeah, a little bit. I remember
Wow.
smelling weird stuff for the first time, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome. My babysitter took me to to Deer Park Funland with all her hot high school friends. And there were like four hot high school girls. And we rode the tilt-a-whirl and I threw up.
She would bring records over every time, and her and I would just
How
like, I
cool.
remember her bringing Thriller over and telling me how cool it was when it came out, and
Wow.
yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. All right. Well, I have exhausted the evil on my list for sure. I mean, we could go on and on.
Yeah,
Um,
we
that,
didn't talk about any of the, big radio ones really, so
Oh, what do you think? What are you thinking of? Big radio,
like Van
radio.
Halen.
Oh, Running with the Devil, sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's and I didn't, you know what I didn't do, who where Satan comes up a lot is in old bluegrass too. Like Satan is Real by the Louvin brothers.
Yep.
Satan is
Hank
real.
3 does it. Yep.
Um
In
also Louvin
living.
brothers,
Yeah.
Satan Your Kingdom Must Come Down,
Tupelo does
which
that,
was
right?
Tupelo song. Yep.
Yep.
They talk about the cautionary tale of the devil quite a bit. Of course, Ira Louvin from the Louvin brothers was a really religious guy, but he's also a drunk, and he struck those two sides of his personality really are what killed him. He died in a car accident, but that's what he really struggled. He didn't he'd quit a lot. He'd quit the duo, and he wouldn't want to be in the Louvin brothers anymore because he thought it was, too carnal, and then he would drink himself and cheat on his wife or whatever. He was that kind of the dichotomy of the pressure of faith sometimes, I guess, is
Yeah.
what it is. So yeah, a good episode about the devil, a huge inspiration to musicians everywhere, um and often made fun of too, parodied. I mean, Dave Grohl does a great devil in the Pick of Destiny. He's the devil in the Pick of Destiny. That's great.
South Park.
South Park, right?
The
And
devil is
so
Saddam Hussein.
so here's a question for you as a music fan. Like, had you ever like, I had friends who would listen to like satanic metal in a satanic setting. Like they would go for it. Like put on Alice Cooper. I Love the Dead, but in the dark. And I mean, I played in a band with a dude who like in his bedroom had like baby dolls with like their heads off, that kind of
Oh,
shit, just because of the imagery, the $1 billion babies from Alice Cooper. And yeah. But did you ever play records backwards? Did you do that in your life?
we no, we never. As nerdy as I got, my buddy and I recorded because Beavis and Butthead. There was an episode where Beavis talked backwards, so
Okay.
we recorded it and flipped it around, and he was just saying things like "Stay in school, kids," stuff
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yes.
So I did play records backwards. I played Stairway to Heaven backwards. And again, I watch Ghost Hunters, the show on TV, and my
Yeah.
wife makes fun of me all the time because they're always like, "Did you hear that?" And it's literally like white noise, and then you hear
Yeah.
like, and they're like right there. It said goat milk or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I played Stairway to Heaven backwards, and during the "Ooh, it makes me wonder," I backwards in that section, it did sound like "Oh, my sweet Satan." It did. It did. It sounded
That's
like my
because
sweet
people.
Satan.
That's like when you could see a face in things. It's because you want
Dude,
to. I think.
dude, I'm
It's
sure.
just,
I'm sure.
like taking a friggin' ice bath. It doesn't do shit for you, but people think it does. So the placebo of, I mean, if you want to keep torturing yourself, go ahead, but it's not helping you.
Well, I really, I was fascinated by it because it was scary, which I liked. Everybody likes being scared, and it
You
was
may
music.
not like being scared. Yeah.
Exactly. Dangerous Toys. I played that backwards. I played some Beatles backwards, you know.
Anything out of those?
Revolution number 9, that went number 9, number
That
9,
on the White
number.
Album?
Yes.
Yeah.
Backwards, it did have a section that it was like, "Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man."
Oh,
Sounded like "Turn Me On, Dead Man." There was some
which
Paul shit in there too, I think.
the Paul is Dead thing, what is that from?
That was supposedly, the rumor was that during, in between whatever album came before Abbey Road, that Paul McCartney died in a car accident
Yes.
and they replaced him. And then
Yes.
the
With a
cover of,
look-alike.
yeah, and the cover of Abbey Road is the indicator that Paul was indeed dead. They put it on there like there's a car that says 28 if, that's the license plate number. Well, Paul was 27 when he supposedly died.
Oh gosh.
And then on the cover, they're a funeral. You have Ringo's in a suit. He's the minister, and then is that right? Yeah, he's in a suit. I think Lennon is in all white, so he's.
Yep,
And then
of course.
McCartney, if you look, his eyes are closed and he's barefoot. He's the corpse, and then George Harrison's in like jeans. He's the gravedigger. He's last in line.
So
So
they did
it's,
it just to mess with people?
I don't know, dude. Who knows? Those fuckers could have been dressed like that when they showed up. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the lore became all of that, and then there was supposed to be stuff in like Glass Onion, the Walrus was Paul, all this weird shit, which is just fascinating rock and roll stuff. I mean, I love that stuff,
Just
and
like the devil stuff. It's all fascinating.
it's fascinating, and it's and as a teenager, again, it provides you the rebellion, which is nice. You
Yeah.
know, it freaks your parents out, it freaks their friends out, it freaks the people in the church out. That's always good for rebellion.
Yeah.
It feels like you're really, and I mean, it can bite you in the ass. I had a kid, a buddy I grew up with, who called me in a panicked. I'm like, what's going on, man? You got to, this is phone on the wall times, right? What's wrong?
Yeah.
He's like, you got to get over here right now. So I bike over to his house. He had been huffing gasoline
Oh,
and listening to the album Born Again by Black Sabbath. It has a song called Trashed on it that I really like. It was Ian Gillan on vocals, but he
okay.
was listening to it like in his basement while he had a rag with gas and catching the
Oh,
bus. And there's a knock on the door, and he goes up to the door and there's no one there. And he goes back downstairs and there's a knock on the door. He goes up, there's no one there. This is midday. Then he's like freaked himself out, so he's got to get higher. He goes to the gas can in the garage to like get a little more gas on this rag, and he swears that out of the can came this devil face that looked him right in the eye and went back in the can. And then
wow.
he called me. Yeah. But it's no different than looking into the mirror and saying, I believe in Bloody Mary or whatever it was, right? All those things, the Ouija boards and all that shit it's just that. It's fascinating. And then you give it a kick-ass rock and roll beat, you know?
Hell yes.
I mean, it's gold. It's
I'm the master of disguise. Yeah.
it's so, is that
Lizzie
Lizzie
Borden.
Borden?
Yes.
All right.
My
Well,
favorite Lizzie Borden record.
that which is just that you have a favorite Lizzie Borden record is saying a lot
It's
for
not
sure.
Menace to Society. It's Master of Disguise. Hell
and
yes.
and and I one of the guys in American Hair Band is a Lizzie Borden fan. He'll bring that
Love it.
stuff up all the time. Yeah. All right, you got any parting words for us?
The
Oh,
greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
exactly. See you, everybody.
See you later, everybody. Be good.